a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Kamala Harris's brand new accent out there in Detroit, Michigan. Now, her accent was a tad bit different when she was speaking, I think just the day before in Pittsburgh. So my thing is this, okay, if that's how you sound, Kamala, then why do you sound wildly different somewhere else? Is it quote unquote code switching? You know, you speak a certain way at the house and you go to work and speak somewhere else. Well, why didn't Barack Obama do anything like that? He's biracial as well, just like you, Kamala Harris. I wonder what the excuse is for the different accents. Is it you or is it something else going on that's influencing you to do that? Now, before we go any further, let's get to a couple of other black accent moments. What we're going to call it black accent, okay? A couple of other black accent moments. Hillary Clinton, where she quoted Reverend James Cleveland, okay? When she quoted James Cleveland, I don't feel no ways tired. Now, normally, she sounds like Bobby's mom from Bobby's World.
Hey, I'll bet Bobby would enjoy going to the pool, don't you know?
But today, on that day, she sounded like Morgan Freeman in Driving Miss Daisy.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to drive you to the stove.
But let's go ahead and hear what she said so you're able to understand what I'm talking about with more context.
It is cast and made permanent. We have to stay awake. We have a march to finish. On this Lord's Day, let us say with one voice the words of James Cleveland's great freedom hymn. I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
And this was a room full of black folks. You ought to be ashamed of yourself for applauding and standing for this lady. This is back in 2008 when she was trying to become the Democratic presidential nominee. And of course, she got curb stopped by one Mr. Barack Obama. And Hillary Clinton, AOC, Kamala Harris, all of them cannot hold a candle to Barack Obama or even Michelle. Now, I'm not going to vote for Barack or Michelle ever in my life or anybody like that. But just looking at how skilled they were as politicians, quote unquote, there's no comparison. Now, before we get to the next black saint and Kamala Harris, let's look at what AOC did a couple of weeks ago at the DNC in Chicago, Illinois. Check it out.
And I, for one, am tired of hearing about how a two-bit union buster thinks of himself as more of a patriot than the woman who fights every single day to live.
Now, this energy right here, the neck twisted and all of that, I think that's a coach that she's been going to, probably a black woman that's teaching her how to be very effective with her words, okay? And to be more assertive and girl boss and stuff like this, because this was AOC when she first got in office back a few years ago. Was that 4 years ago?
To amass people's movement, working to establish 21st century social, economic, and human rights.
Now, right there, you're looking like a deer in the headlights. Now, all of a sudden, 4 years later, you're strong and Miss Independent and all this and that. This is called grooming. It's called coaching. Okay, that's what's going on here. And they're trying to do a little bit of coaching with Kamala, but it's just not sticking as well as it could with some people. AOC is still young, so she's still kind of goofy with it. She's like in her 30s, early 30s or mid 30s. She's still pretty young, but Kamala Harris is 60 years old. So I don't think you're going to really teach the old dog any new tricks. Not trying to call her a dog, but let's keep on going. Let's get to Kamala and the whole black scent kerfuffle. This is in Detroit. Then after that, we're going to get to Pittsburgh, and you can see the contrast there. Check it out.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
And then the look, the way she's looking, completely different. I don't know who she's channeling. It sounds like a little bit of Obama, a little bit of Hillary Clinton. It sounds like them both put together. Now, here is the Pittsburgh speech. It's going to be a lot different than what she just did in Detroit. Check it out.
thank unions every day for the 5-day work week, for the weekend, for paid leave if you've got it. We still got work to do.
And the thing about it is, it's the same speech. It's not even a different speech. So you're recycling the speech, but you're using a different voice. Now, some are going to say, oh, it was a bigger crowd. She's trying to energize the audience. Well, why must your voice, your tone, and all of that be so wildly different depending upon the venue? Just like what Hillary Clinton did. You put on the black voice to read James Cleveland. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I don't want to hear that. Okay, you can read from a person of a different race without having to mock their voice. All right, if I'm reading something from Plato back in the day, must I put on some voice that may have been around back in his time, or just a general white person's voice? Why would I do that? It doesn't make any sense. But that's what they do over on the Democratic side of things. They just pretend to be a certain thing. Now, here's my issue. I don't really necessarily assign a certain way of speaking to individual races. For the most part, you could tell, like if you hear my voice, you're going to know, okay, Black American. But sometimes you can't tell. I know black guys that look just like me that if you heard them on the phone, you can't tell whether they're black or white. You couldn't even tell. They sound like a white guy that you, like a stereotypical white American voice. You can't tell the difference. A Tiger Woods, maybe. A lot of y'all might be able to tell, but a lot of y'all couldn't tell if you didn't know that was Tiger's voice. Thought it was just a random guy. You probably wouldn't necessarily say that it was a black guy, but he is black. Well, biracial mix, but they want to call Kamala black too. So what's up? You see what I'm saying? The whole thing is weird. People are trying to push this woman up as a black woman, but she's not really. And they're trying to make her go out there and quote unquote sound black. That's not really working. And it could be maybe the whole sounding black thing as I close could be, we killed two birds with one stone. I think AOC and Hillary Clinton may have been coached. Definitely AOC getting coached by black speakers to sound more impactful, more bass in your voice, a more projected voice, more animated, which is a style that's very popular. A lot of your top speakers in this country and in the world, Black American speakers. So they teach them to speak that way. Okay, it's part of a grooming process. It's not just, oh, I'm in politics. No, they're going to put you in finishing courses and things of this nature if you're a high profile person. In the case of Barack Obama, I believe he was groomed from the beginning. Okay, you did not grow up as a black American at all. Your dad is African, not an American, from Africa, an immigrant, was not a citizen. I don't believe when you were born in Hawaii. Your mom was a regular white American. You lived in Hawaii with your white grandparents, not your African dad. And before Hawaii, you were in Indonesia with your Asian stepfather and your white mother. So where is the black American experience at? You came to Chicago as a full-grown adult and lived there for 20 years or whatever the case may be, and you became groomed into what it's like to be a black American. You were trained to be a black American. You singing now, Green?
So in love with you.
That came from your Chicago training. Because what were y'all doing in Indonesia? You were singing that in Indonesia, okay? It wasn't no Al Green or nothing like that. It wasn't no Teddy Pendergrass, turn the lights off. That was not happening in Indonesia. Let's be all the way real. You were groomed. Kamala, unfortunately, has not been groomed for anything. She's just been placed in places because of her identity with no training along the way. And now the Democratic Party are reaping the fruits of their lack of labor, and Kamala Harris being an embarrassment in front of an international stage as the Democratic Party presidential nominee. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on Kamala and the whole black scent kerfuffle? I mean, is it just her voice? It's not really a big deal. Speaking in front of her audience. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. She's fake, and I don't like fake people. If you're going to have a black scent, white scent, whatever your voice is, always have that. Why change it? Barack Obama, again, he's biracial, the same as Kamala, grew up differently, same as Kamala. He lived in Indonesia and Hawaii. She lived in the lower 48 and also Canada, French Canada, in the formative years between 12 and 20. Went to college for 1 year in French Canada and then came down to Howard to the black school to get more of the so-called black experience. Okay, y'all grew up the same way. Whenever I see Barack Obama speaking, it's never no code switching going on. It's never a different accent. It's always just Barack Obama. With you, I don't know what I'm going to get. A giggling, cackling mess, the black scent, regular auntie, Indian, Like, what's going on? Whoever you are, just be that. Have an identity. If I can't even figure out who you are as a person by just looking at some random appearances, not even really long form interviews, it's just not looking good for you to be in the role of the president, because I don't know what you're going to do with you in there. But for me, I don't need to be sold either way, because I'm not going to vote for the Democratic Party regardless. And if I had to pistol to my forehead and they say, hey, man, it's either you go ahead and just eat that or reelect Kamala, it's going to be a tough decision. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.